Hello, hello, and welcome back to another vlog. Matt and I are walking out to the pumpkin patch because it is time we did some weeding. It's been overrun with weeds and all kinds of things, so we are going to do our darndest and rip out as many of the roots as we can to minimize what comes back later this season and in the future. Obviously we're not going to get to all of it because the whole area could use a weed, but we're just going to focus on the pumpkin patch and see if we can give the actual plants a little more space to breathe. It is looking so much better now. Super helpful to have Matt's help on that so that we could get it done a lot faster. We were observing that the plants on this side seem smaller and the plants over here seem much larger, and we're not sure if that's just due to the variety or if these plants were shading out some of the weeds so the weeds weren't taking over or what. But either way, it is currently free and clear, and hopefully that will give them a little more room to spread out and the weeds won't completely take over. Blank slate. It's crazy echoey in here now that I took the rug out, but I have taken everything out of the office with the exception of the closet. That is my storage place right now because that is sort of like a phase 2 of this project. But now that everything is out of here, I can take some measurements and start taping out like pieces of furniture to get a feel for the space around them and see if things are too tight, if I want things bigger or smaller. So this is a good place to be. This is a great starting place. And it took me a lot longer to get back to a blank slate than I thought it would. So I'm very excited about this. Now, before I get into measuring, I did what I always do and I got distracted. And I was diligently looking for an old desk for this office. And I got distracted by this adorable other thing, which I will share with you in a few moments. And I ran out to go pick that up. So I'm gonna pause in the office for a hot second, and we're actually going to pivot quickly to like a 30-minute 3-season porch makeover. I was at my neighbor's yesterday and their 3-season porch, and she had all these adorable cafe lights up and just like, I don't know, like a bookshelf, and it was so cute, and I'm like, what have I been doing? Like, this is so easy to do, and I have cafe lights. They've been sitting in a tub since we moved to this house because I've been waiting for a place to put them outside, but we don't have that yet. So, silly me, I can just put them in the 3-season porch. So, while I was running out to pick up this Facebook Marketplace find, I also stopped at Home Depot to get some little cup hooks so I can screw those in along the trim and we can drape the lights from there. So we're gonna do a quick pivot, a little 3-season porch makeover, and then tomorrow we'll come in here, we'll measure, we'll tape, we'll do all that stuff. Okay, the first thing I actually am going to do is rearrange the furniture because the new piece of furniture that I bought didn't really have a good space. So I was thinking about this earlier today after I spotted the listing and my wheels started spinning. I'm going to do 2 chairs and the sofa facing each other, and that will give us a little more room around the edges, and then I can make room for this new piece in the back sort of center as a nice focal point. That worked out way better than I was anticipating. I don't know why I haven't tried this layout before. I think maybe I thought the couch was too wide, but it turns out the chairs side by side are actually wider anyway, so I don't know what I was thinking. But either way, it looks great, and now we have space for my new piece of furniture, which I will show you now. Here she is. I'm obsessed. It's like an old iron bar cart. It's in amazing condition. It has this really pretty floral detail. The wheels work, the casters work. It's got this like bottom level for storage and this glass top that's in pretty darn good condition, all things considered. And I just love the color of it, the shape of it. It's perfect. I'm gonna try it there for now. We'll see how it works. Obviously, this is a place that changes often, so, you know, if we need to shift things around, we can, but for the most part, we're not really like walking around here, so if you're sitting here, you still have plenty of room, and the cart's not in the way, which is great. So I probably will not be storing, you know, like liquor and stuff out here. That's not super practical, but it'll be great additional storage out here, so I'll put a few plants on the top. Maybe I'll put a basket down below for miscellaneous things. When we do have friends over, we can bring drinks and glasses out here. The other thing I wanted to share, which I'm always curious about, and I know a lot of other people who thrift are also curious about, is how much did I pay? So I will pop the listing on the screen here, and you can see it's listed for $150. I reached out and said, I love this piece, it's really cute, would you accept $100? Do I think it's worth $100? I actually have no idea. I did absolutely zero research, and she didn't even negotiate. She just said, yes, that's fine. So that just goes to show that sometimes people are willing to get rid of things if you appreciate the piece or you express interest, or you're willing to kind of go back and forth a little bit. I've had people kind of say, well, I wouldn't do 100, but I would do 125. So if you ever find something you love, but you're not so sure about the price, see if they're flexible, and you might get a better price on something that was originally out of your budget. Barn is 1,000,000 degrees. Oh my gosh, I just went up into like the attic space and it's like sweltering. But I did find the lights. So I've actually had these since 2018. I bought a bunch of boxes anticipating that they would die and I'd have to replace bulbs. And we still have, I think, 4 or 5 strings that I've only had to replace a few bulbs on, and the string itself has been fine, which is awesome. They were outside at our old house and I kept them up all summer long, and I only took them down in the winter. If these still exist, I will include a link to them. They're from Walmart. They have 20 bulbs, they're warm white, and the length is 20 feet. I used to string them together. You could just use one. If I can't find these exact ones, I will link something similar. To hang these up, I'm just gonna take these brass cup hooks I just bought from Home Depot, which I will include a link to below. I'm just gonna screw these in every 2 feet maybe. We'll kind of play it by ear to see where I need more support. but I'm just gonna go all the way around the top edge here, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we will land somewhere where we're close to a plug. Otherwise, I'll have to grab an extension cord to plug in. So let's get some lights up. Porch makeover was worth it. I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. It's amazing what lights and a cute little bar cart will do to a space like this. All it took was a little rearranging and a couple of cup hooks, and it's a whole new space, and I can't wait to curl up and read a book. It's the perfect breezy evening to sit out here, so it's just the cherry on top. And I know I will be out here far more often enjoying this because I'm such a cozy light girl. Like, I love a lamp and I love Christmas lights and like cafe lights. It's all about the vibe. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this slight detour, but we will be back to the office tomorrow. Hello and happy Tuesday. It has been the craziest day ever, and I thought I'd be able to get to the office sooner, but it is dinner time and I need to make dinner first. Then I need to go out to the garden and cut the chive flowers because they're going to seed, and I want to catch them all before they drop in the garden. We have chives everywhere next year. And then if we have time, I'm going to measure the office. If not, I will try to get to it tomorrow. But I'm trying to get a lot of things done because we are visiting some friends this weekend, so trying to cram it all into a 4-day week as much as possible. So I'm going to make one of our favorite go-to easy weeknight meals, which is just a chicken sausage sheet pan meal. I just use whatever veggies, potatoes I have available. Today I have some bell peppers, a sweet potato, a yellow onion, some cherry tomatoes, and chicken sausage. So I will dice everything up, season it with salt, pepper, and some fresh herbs I just clipped from the garden, olive oil, throw it on a sheet pan, and stick it in the oven. It could not be easier, and I am grateful for meals like this on these crazy weeknights. Potatoes are in the oven. I put those in first because they take a little bit longer to cook. So I just toss them in olive oil, salt, pepper, and then put them on the sheet pan with some of the herbs I clipped from the garden. I did thyme, rosemary, and oregano. While those pre-cook, I'm going to dice up the bell peppers, tomatoes, onion, and chicken sausage. I will season that similarly, and then I will add that to the sheet pan and keep cooking everything together. in the garden and I wanted to show you, I'm not sure how well you can see on the camera, but if you look closely, there's these little black dots in these flower heads of the chives, and those are all the seeds. So I'm basically just gonna chop off all of the flower heads, collect them in a little mesh basket, and then we'll kind of like separate the seeds inside. By collecting all these now, we're minimizing all the seeds that are just gonna drop and spread naturally. So I will put these in a little seed envelope, we'll save them for next year, and then we'll plant more or share them with friends. Now that I've collected all of these flower heads, I'm just gonna shake out all the loose seeds that are kind of sitting on the top, and we'll see how many we have. I don't need every single seed, so I'll just do the best I can. If I wanted to get really into it, I could pluck each little flower bud off and peel back the petals and shake out. There's usually like 2 or 3 seeds in each little bud, but I don't want to spend the time doing that. So we'll see how many we have once we shake them all out, and then we'll go from there. So we've collected quite a few, but a lot of the little individual flower buds fell off, and you can actually see, I'm not sure if the camera will focus, but like inside these little flower buds are like 2 or 3 more seeds each. So I might have to do a little bit of manual work to get them out. Just trying to do this with one hand, but there's another seed right there, it just popped out. So I don't need a ton. I'll probably do that to a few, but I feel like this right here is a pretty decent collection, and I don't think I'll need more than that. I will compost these heads so that the nutrients can go right back into the garden, and I'll just kind of clean this out so that I have just the little black seeds, and I'll put them into an envelope for next year. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday. I don't know how, but somehow it is Thursday, and I am actually in the car, and I'm going to take a run up to the Barbour Outlet in Milford, New Hampshire, because they are having their annual tent sale today, June 27th through Sunday, June 30th, and today's the only day I can make it. So I figured the best day to go is the first day because we'll have the largest selection. I'll be interested to see how many people are actually there. I don't know if it's like this crazy thing or just this sort of like tucked away hidden thing that not a lot of people know about, but we will find out, and we will see if we find anything worth grabbing. Mad, but I got a few things I will show you when I get home. If you didn't grab what you wanted right away and you went back to find it later, it was 100% gone. So the tent outside had the deepest discounts, and it was a variety of shirts and jackets, vests, etc. If you went into the warehouse, that's where they had the boots for $29.99. They had all kinds of different shoes. They had all the wax jackets for $1.99. They had some sweaters and a variety of other miscellaneous accessories. And then in the actual storefront, everything was at least 50% off. Some things were 60% off. I got a pair of tall boots. I got a quilted jacket. I got a pair of swim trunks for Matt. I got a sweater, and I think that might be it. Anyway, I will show you when I get home, but definitely worth coming up here if you like this brand, or if you're just looking for some quality, deeply discounted outerwear. It's a good place to stop. They usually do it in like late June, July, and this is at the Barbour Outlet in Milford, New Hampshire. Back home, changed into a neutral outfit so I can try on a few things and show you what I got. All right, first up is this pair of boots. They had all their boots marked down to $29.99. They had a bunch of tall styles and short styles. I would have gotten another pair, but I'm telling you, I turned around and they were gone. So I ended up with these that have this kind of camel detail around the top edge, and then this little strap to tighten it if you want. They're not quite olive. They're kind of in between like an olive and a true like emerald green, but still really pretty, still in my colorway. And I think they'll work great in the fall and winter for walking around in the snow and mud. I got this cute ivory quilted jacket. I think all of the quilted jackets were marked down to $69.99 if I remember correctly. It's got this little detail in the back where you can kind of adjust it to tighten it if you want. It's just like kind of down past my hips a little bit. It's got these nice little pockets here in the front, and you can just wear it kind of open like this, or zip it up or button it up. And I got this because it's a really nice lightweight jacket. I don't have something of this length that's in this sort of lighter weight, so this could be a good spring jacket, fall jacket. You can layer it with sweaters. I did size up a little bit just so that I could fit a sweater underneath it, because I really don't like when you get a jacket and then you want to wear a sweater and you're like so stiff in there that you can't even like bend your elbows. It just makes me feel super uncomfortable. So I would rather have something that's just a little more loose so I can switch up what I'm wearing underneath. I am just trying this on for the first time and I am flipping obsessed. If this isn't a Molly sweater, I don't know what is. It's got these really high slits, which is so fun. It's got this little like turned down neck, so it's actually sewn in here, so it kind of like forces the neck to roll in, which is super cute. It's got this sort of like cabling detail on the front, and I love how like just loose and flowy it is. You could wear this with leggings, you could wear it with jeans, you could kind of like tuck in the front, although maybe not, that might look a little weird with this slit. But this will make for the perfect layering piece for fall and winter. I grabbed these cute neutral slip-ons. They're kind of like a suede material, but all the shoes were marked down to, I believe, $29. Yeah, because they were the same as the boots. But I thought these would be great for kind of just dressing up a little bit. They can be worn with like leggings or skinny jeans or regular jeans. So they're a good neutral to have on the shoe rack. Lastly, I got a hood for my wax jacket, which is hilarious because when I first bought it, I was like, I don't need a hood, but every single time I've worn it, it's been raining out and I wish I had a hood. All the hoods, which I think are originally $55, were marked down to $9.99. So I grabbed one, so I had it. It just snaps on, so I can always snap it off when I don't want it and snap it on when it's a rainy day. I also got these swim trunks from Matt. I think they were marked down to like $19.99. I like that they're just a little bit on the shorter side, like they're not down to his knees. They'd be kind of like mid-thigh. And I liked the stripe pattern, so we'll see if they fit him, and hopefully he likes them. All in all, I'd say we had some good success. Didn't really know what to expect, so I was happy to grab anything, but now I know for next year, get there early and go to the boots first because those get swiped up. Then go to the vests because that's another top favorite item, which I did really want some vests, but they just didn't have my size and there wasn't a huge selection of women's. But just a fun thing to shop. If you find something, it's awesome. If you don't, you know, it's not a huge loss. The store is still there and they still have good prices all season long because they're a factory store, but the tent sale is just exceptionally good deals and you just never know what you'll stumble upon. my tape, I have my measuring tape, and we are going to measure the room and tape out some just like rough placement of a few of the different layouts I had to see what we're leaning towards. This is not going to be like a decision-making day. It's just kind of getting a feel for things. I have been looking at desks on Facebook Marketplace. There's obviously a million different directions we can go, so I was just kind of getting a feel for like what's out there, what the sizes are. I think for our case, because this room is so small, we'd have to find something on the smaller side if we decided to go the direction of like a desk focal point in the center. But I'm gonna tape it out and see how it feels with like a dining room chair, just to get a better sense of like what it feels like if I push my chair back, or what it feels like if I like turn to the side and like grab something off the table. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get measuring. Naturally, I just recorded all of this and the camera was out of focus, so I'm gonna spare you the annoyance of watching that and just do a quick recap. So what I have here are a couple of different combined layouts. I've got 3 different choices that I'm kind of stewing on. For the first option, it would be just along the back wall. So on the left and right, I would have 2 more skinny bookcases, top to bottom. The lower portion would be closed cabinets, the upper portion would be open shelving. And then in the center here, we'd have a desk that kind of fits between those 2 built-ins. We could also build a desk in that could be the same depth or a different depth. But my initial plan was to source an old desk and have a piece that's actually movable. Like if we ever wanted to, we could slide that desk out and we wouldn't be locked into this full wall of bookshelves. I grabbed my dining room chair here and I kind of sat it there to see how it feels. And I think this is actually a nice depth. This is about 30 inches deep. These are about 18.5 inches deep. So I think this would kind of be the ideal working space. It's not too big, it's not too small. I often work on 2 laptops, so it gives me enough room to spread those out. And it takes up the least amount of space in the room. So these little rectangles on the left and right wouldn't be here. So you kind of have all this open floor space, which is just nice. You don't feel too crammed. Option 2 would be this L-shaped desk. So ignore this skinny little rectangle. We would forego that. The cabinetry would be built in the same width all the way from wall to wall. And then we turn the corner right to the edge of the window frame here. So this section here would be desk. About 1/3 or 1/2 of the wall on this side would be a desk. So we kind of have this corner working space. And then all the way to the left to the wall would be, you know, cabinetry and bookshelves. So with this option, when I put the chair here, it just felt tight. I mean, there would be open space under the desk here and here for my legs. So it wouldn't be as much of a problem in that regard, but it just feels like it stops so short. And if I want to spread out, I'm kind of like shoving things in the corner. It's not a terrible option. It does, again, utilize the space of the floor really well. So like all of this would be open, but I don't know. I have to think about this one. The last option I was exploring was this parallel desk and built-in bookshelf. So we'd play with the depths a little bit because I don't think a bookshelf needs to be 18.5 inches deep, and the desk would probably need to be a little bit deeper so I wasn't banging my feet up against the wall, but it does keep this whole space open in the center. It would give me a nice background when I'm on video calls, and I'd be facing the window so the light is on my face, and therefore I don't look like I'm in a cave when I'm on video calls. So a lot to think about. As I was looking at this wall and thinking about this being a bookshelf, I was like, ooh, wouldn't it be cool if we brought the bookshelf to the ceiling and then it came across the top of the door? Like that's kind of what we did in Matt's office. I will pop a picture on the screen here so you can see. And if you didn't see that project on Instagram, go check out our highlights because I think I saved most, if not all of it there. But that could be kind of fun. I definitely will not have room for a comfy chair. I think we need to just like scratch that off the list because as you can see, there's just not a lot of floor space. We need the door to be able to open and I need to be able to access the closet in some way, even if I sort of place something in front of it. And I don't think we'd have room for a big chair there. So that is where I'm at right now. I've got some thinking to do. I've still got to do more refined measuring. I did feel like this room was bigger, but now that I've got the tape down, I'm like, oh, okay. We really don't have a ton of space to work with. At the moment, I'm leaning toward this option with the desk and bookshelf kind of parallel to one another, or the first option where we have a shelf all the way along the wall with a bump out for the desk in the middle. But again, I'll see what I can find. Maybe I can source something on the smaller side for a desk. And then we'll kind of go from there. This really is probably one of the trickiest design problems I've had to work through, and part of it comes from my indecision. I really want to think about it. I'll take the weekend, kind of like picture different scenarios in my head, think about what kind of chair I'd want for the desk, really think about the storage, like what do I absolutely need in bookshelves and cabinets versus what can I store in this closet behind me. It's a pretty big closet, and a lot of the stuff I need to go through and clear out anyway, so I think we could pare it down and you know, make it all work. So definitely more to come. Let me know in the comments below what you think, which direction you like, and if there's anything I'm not thinking of. I am gonna wrap the vlog up here. We are about to hit the road to visit some friends, so I will catch up with you again next week with some additional thoughts on this and hopefully maybe a decision. That's my goal at least. Thank you so much for watching this week. I hope you found this helpful. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future updates, and I will see you again next week.